Welcome back, content creators, healers, old souls, and intuitives. For those who don't know, my name is Jay, and welcome back to another video. There was a game that was happening in each relationship that I get in. A game that the universe was telling me, if you understand this game, then you will have the key to true abundant relationships. And I'm about to give you guys that key today. You see, looking back at that key and looking back what I know of it so far and looking back at each relationship that I was in, that I encountered, that ended in a way that didn't have to. Think about the friends that you're no longer friends with. Maybe you outgrew them. Think about the significant others that you were significantly involved with. Maybe they didn't show up the right way. Either way, it seems as if there's a point that comes in certain relationships where both people just leave. It happens in marriage, and we call this divorce. It happens in relationships, and we call this breakups. It happens in friendships, and we also call that a breakup. But what if this didn't have to happen? What if that point comes, but we find a way to move beyond it? What if there was no problem that couldn't be fixed? What if there was no wound that couldn't be healed? What if there was never an end, but only a beginning or a new beginning? What if we can grow together as a community, as a relationship, and as a family? You see, this key I'm about to give you today took a lot of observation and forgiveness. You know that word, forgiveness? You know what it's like to forgive? It took a lot of forgiveness to be able to wield this key today. You see, the key itself is not a key that you will use to enter a door, but it's more of a game. A game that begins to play out within a particular relationship, within a particular environment, within a particular situation that doesn't have to play out that way. You see, I feel that breakup point, that ending point, that separation point only comes because not everybody understands the game and the rules. But when you see this game and how it is played, truly, it never gets you again. So what is this game, Jay? Well, the game is called The Runner and the Chaser. Now, just hearing those two titles may begin to trigger some type of knowing within your own mind from this game yourself. And the two players of these games share a couple of things alike. The first thing these two players, the runner and the chaser, share is a connection. They are connected at some point within themselves. Whether they connect on an idea mentally or whether they connect within a state of being emotionally. You know what it's like to connect with somebody? To connect is a lot like intimacy. You know, you truly connect with someone when you feel you don't have to pretend around them. When you feel that you can let your guard down and that person will accept you for who you are in that moment. It gives you a sense of freedom. You see, when you are accepted by someone else, you automatically find it freeing to accept yourself. So when you are around someone that can look at you for all that you are and not pass judgment, that's a different level of connection. But what I want to ask you is, what begins to happen when two people do that at the same time? What is it like for two beings to be in a room together without judgment, without opinions, without beliefs or ideas, but truly just connecting with each other face to face in that moment? That, my friend, is called intimacy, closeness. And this is something that happens very quickly, especially if you are considered a soulmate. You ever met somebody and within the first 10 to 15, it's just, this is it. You ever been in the honeymoon phase? Well, what begins to happen after that honeymoon phase? What happens after that? Why does it end? You see, what I want you to know is intimacy is one side of the coin. Just like we got good, we always got to have bad. Just like we got up, we always got to have down. Just like we got right, we always got to have left. Life has a way of mirroring. You see, intimacy has another friend named fear. And the thing about intimacy that's so loving is that when you can connect with someone or something or even yourself in a loving way, fear disappears. Do you know what it's like to be fearless? To be completely free in the moment, feeling like you can do anything and everything. Wow. Now that's an experience. And imagine every time you got around someone, you had that experience together. Wow, what a connection that would be. But what if after 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks of feeling that intense high of feeling free and intimate and in love, you start to feel something else? What if one day you up on that plane and you're flying high in the sky, you hear a thought that says, what if they leave tomorrow? What if this is my last moment of feeling this freedom? What if my friends don't like him? What if they leave? What if this ends here right now? What if it ends? Oh, I don't think I can bear an ending. Oh, no. I just went so high. Oh, what if I go back down low? Oh, no. This is so good, but what if the goodness ends? Oh, no. You see, fear will creep in and start to say those things. You see, it's ironic how you can love something so much, but you can also fear it so much as well. How does that make sense? You see, it feels really, really, really good to be high, but something in the back of your mind says, if it feels this good to be high, imagine how it feels to fall from this height. So naturally, these thoughts come up within one's mind, but that doesn't mean you have to listen. But if nobody listened, we wouldn't have the game. So it is one person who listens, and this person is called the runner. I want to introduce you to the runner. You see, the runner shares something with the chaser, and that's love, connection. They both have ridden the highest of highs together, and they intend to continue doing so. But the runner has listened to this thought. But what if it ends? but what if, but what if, but what if, right? And it's so scary for the runner. It's so frightening that a reality like an ending could exist. And it's so frightening that to prepare himself, to prepare herself, the runner makes a decision to take a step back. Whoa, let's not go so high anymore. Let's play it safe, shall we? Let's not go too high because I don't want to fall from there anymore. Let's stay down here where I'm comfortable, where it's safe and where it's known. Because at least if I fall from this height, I won't be hurt too bad, says the runner. So the runner subconsciously make a decision to back away. You see, the funny thing about the runner making this decision is that the runner never tells the chaser. The runner never tells the chaser because, again, I don't want this to end. The runner fears, just like all these other fears, if I tell the chaser this, well, that might just bring the ending. The what ifs. So the runner takes a step back, way outside of the camera, leaving the chaser up here on the high highs. And the thing about love is, love has a way of taking away everything there is to be afraid of. So even if the runner isn't there, the chaser doesn't realize, because love is love is love is love. The chaser has his hands out the window, way up in the sky, listening to music and enjoying every ride. Until fear began to speak to the chaser as well. You see, fear began to speak to the chaser and say, hey, where's your partner? Where has they gone? And when the chaser look over, he noticed, oh, wait, you're right. Where's she going? Where's he going? I gotta go get her. I gotta go get him. Right, so the chaser immediately jets across the screen out here to chase the runner. And in this moment, nobody's riding the high highs anymore. Both of the chase and the runner has fallen. And ironically enough, this is where it gets interesting. And it gets interesting because the thing about the runner running is the runner never tells the chaser. Because what if I actually say this and it ends things? We can't have that. Again, fear has a mysterious way. So because the runner never tells the chaser, well, now the runner got a secret. I'm hiding a part of myself away because I don't feel like if I say this part, if I actually be this part of myself, that it will be good enough, says the runner. The runner truly believes that if I show this part of myself, that it won't be accepted. Even though the chaser has done nothing to make the runner think that way. It's called fear. So the runner continues with the secrets and pull away, and the chaser understands, the chaser knows, and the chasing is doing what a chaser does best. They're chasing. You see, the funny thing about chasing the truth is the more you try to push the truth out of somebody who is hiding it, the more they do not wish to share it anymore. Like, if I hid this from you for a reason, you asking me about it is going to make me realize I'm hiding it even more. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to hide it even more. Like right now, if I tell you to not think about a purple elephant, your first thought will be, in fact, a purple elephant. Why? Because the more you resist something, the more you expand it. Isn't that ironic, though? So the more the runner hides away, the more the chaser chases. And when the chaser is chasing, he's asking, why are you hiding? Why are you hiding? I can't tell you. No. And the game continues. You see, I find this funny because something beautifully begins to happen. You see, this whole universe is energy. It's energy. And what that means is you can have as much energy as you want, but if you do not replenish your connection to source, then it may feel that you will begin to run out. So as the chaser is chasing this runner, and the runner is hiding because I can't tell you, but the chaser want to know because why you can't tell me. So this game continues to go on and on and on. The chaser begins to get tired. Deep breath, chaser, deep breath. To all my chasers out there. What is happening? Says the chaser. What's going on? Why don't I know? What's real? What's happening? The chaser began to think. The chaser may even begin to blame themselves. What did I do? What did I say? I thought we were on the highs. What happened? And the chaser begins to go through what I like to call the dark night of the soul. You see, the dark night of the soul begins to happen within oneself when they have to come to a fact that there's nothing else they could do. You know how powerless it must feel to know you want something, but also realize that there's nothing you can do to actually get it, right? This is also where faith come in, by the way, but we'll get to that. So the dark night of the soul begins to happen for the chaser as he sit, or as she sit, and find themselves in a deep observation, really trying to contemplate what has happened. You see, the funny thing about the universe is sometimes the universe creates situations just to get you to look back at you. So as the chaser began to try to understand what actually happens, the chaser gift himself something that the runner hasn't found quite yet. He gift himself peace. He gift himself joy, relaxation, ease, grace, love. And as the chaser began to reflect on actually what happened, the observation goes from focusing so much on this runner to, well, where am I? Why did I have to come down? Why couldn't I continue flying? So the chaser begins to change the thought process and begins to say, well, instead of chasing, why can't I just focus on how to get back to that high? Where is the love now? Because it's not there anymore. Where is the joy now? Because it's not there anymore. And I don't know why, but it's just not there. Where is the fun? Where is the happiness? What can I vibe with now? You see, the chaser goes through what I call a transformation, an evolution within himself. He's able to take the circumstances around him and grow from it. To ask himself the question, what now? How can I look beyond this fear? How can I look beyond this confusion? Because I still don't know what happened. How can I look beyond it though? How can I become something more? This is a question that the chaser began to ask himself, and it is law that if you ask, you also must receive. So life began to bring what's called inspiration into the chaser's life. Inspirations that bring him or her back to this high state of being. So high, in fact, that the chaser no longer thinks about the runner. The chaser is floating on cloud 9 all by himself, and he used nothing or no one to get him there, but he found his way back home. You see, the funny thing about this runner and chaser games is the roles is never assigned to one player. The roles can switch any moment. You see, as soon as the chaser finds his cloud 9 or her cloud 9, guess what the runner begins to do? Oh, wait a second, no one's chasing me. You ever played hide and seek? You see, the best thing about the game of hide and seek is the fact that you know somebody's looking for you. Somebody's searching for you. So you try to hide in the best places, not just because you don't want to get caught, but you also hide in the best places because you know if I hide here and he catch me here, He got some good seeking skills. You see, it's something about getting caught that we'll enjoy. You see, when the runner realizes that the chaser is no longer chasing, the runner has to make a decision in his or her life to choose to come back and meet the chaser in the middle at this high and find that high for themselves. Or they can choose to try to get that chaser to come back down and chase one more again. You see, this is what we call in our community the narcissist. Someone who tries to get you to come out of your reality, come out of that sweet spot, come out of that high vibrational energy and come play my game down here. Come join me on this lowest of low and debate with me about anything. Let's talk about how life sucks. Let me blame you for everything you do wrong. Let's fight. Let's be toxic. You see, this is the game of the runner. When the runner is afraid to go back high, the runner does everything they can to get you to come back and chase again. And some chasers take the bait sometimes. They jump down off the cloud nine and begin running back as soon as an opportunity presents itself. And that's where the ascension comes in for the chaser. You see, what I want you to understand about this game is energy. I want you to understand how energy really works. You see, the reason why the runner turns around and say, wait a second, nobody chasing me, it's because they sense it. They sense the attention has now gone and they begin to say, wait a second, I want it back. They begin to compete for the energy around them. Let me get this energy back. I need this energy back. And they begin to call for the energy back in the only way that they know. And that way is through manipulation. How can I get this person to come down from their high feeling to join me down here in this low feeling? Because I need their energy. I need to say and do whatever I can to them so that they can drop down and feel as bad as I do and maybe chase me again so that I can feel good. You see, the chaser begins to ascend when the chaser realizes that he doesn't have to, or that she doesn't have to come down. That a true partner worthy and willing to really commit, whether it's as a family, whether it's as a community, or whether it's just as a friendship or a romance, a true partner and participant will join you on cloud nine together. They will come up there and meet you and join you and meet you in that halfway space because, to be honest, I'll give you a secret from someone who's been watching the game. It is a lose-lose game for the chaser. You see, the thing that makes it such a lose-lose game for the chaser is if the chaser come down and realize what's happening, and the chaser go over to the runner and say, hey, runner, why are you doing this? Stop doing this. You're a bad person for doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. F you for doing this. You suck for doing this. I don't think you should be doing this. Why are you doing this? You're doing this is making me mad. You're doing this is making me angry. You are frustrating me for doing this. What do you think that'll do to the runner? You see, if the runner already ran because they thought they wasn't good enough to be able to ride those highways without falling, if a chaser go over to them and tell them exactly why they are not worthy, it's just going to make them more insecure and more fearful and make them run even more. So he can't go that route, or so she can't go that way. But if the chaser come back down and then go to the runner and say, hey, you know what? You know, I understand you. I have the utmost empathy. I'm sorry that you are feeling that way. I wish you didn't, but know that I love you and we can ride this high wave together. Feeling that love coming from the chaser will surely inspire the runner to give it another go. Okay, says the runner. Now that you've chased me and I feel so much better, let's do it. Thank you for the energy. Let's go and do it again. So you get back up on that high cloud nine and you give it another shot at it, right? And again, life is amazing. You guys riding this high, you're listening to music. Taylor Swift is in your ear. You got the shoulders going. You're giving each other high fives. You go, girl, right? It's a beautiful experience. But just as before, fear comes in. What if it ends? What if he don't like my shoes today? Oh my God, not my shoes. I can't have him not liking my shoes. What if he don't like my skirt? Oh my God, not my skirt. So it starts to happen again. And guess what the runner do? The runner runs. Okay, you know what? Maybe not that high. Let's come back down here. Because it's safe here. I know this place. I know fighting. I know toxic. I know heartbreak. I know pain. So let's just stay right here because I don't want to fall from up there. I don't want to love again, says the runner. So the runner again takes off again, and immediately the chaser gets triggered, and it happens all over again. So the chaser can't take that approach. The chaser can't come up and say, I understand. Let's just give it another go. Let's find that love again. Because the runner will then just become dependent on that energy and need to reassure the experience every time they run. So how does the chaser get out of this? How does this chaser-runner dynamic breaks? Well, to truly understand this game, again, you have to truly understand energy. You see, when the chaser hit that high, go back up into the sky on his own, on her own, and begin to ascend and say, I'm not coming back down for nobody. I won't come back down for anyone. All of those beings that's in the person's life that has been depending on the energy of that person, that has been running from that person in order for that person to chase, that's been playing the games of manipulation, that's been playing the games of how can I get you to come down where I am. All of those beings begins to miss that energy. Where did the energy go? Wait a second. I'm not being chased. And some of the runners will begin to look back and start the manipulation games again. Maybe if I say this that way, they'll come back down off that cloud nine and they'll be within my energy again. Maybe they'll come back and chase me. Maybe they'll come back and stand around me. But just as long as they're here where it's safe, I feel that they'll be okay. But a true chaser that is ready to ascend for themselves will not take those invitations. So when the runners begin to see that, wait a second, this is not working, they begin to say, why is it not working? What's going on up there? What's going on? And as they looking up, only thing they see is the chaser just on cloud nine. On cloud nine, enjoying themselves. And they begin to say, why is my tactics not working anymore? What am I doing wrong? What's happening? What's going on? What do I got to say? What do I got to do to get you to do what I want? What do I got to say? What do I got to do to get you to come back down? What do I got to do? And then the runner has a dark night of the soul. As the runner begins to sit with himself in deep contemplation, not understanding why is this approach not working? Why won't he come back down here? Why do he keep raising himself? The question begins to shift, just like it did for the chaser. The runner begins to say, well, what does feel good? What is fun? What is exciting? And a runner begins to position themselves in such a way that they begin to allow themselves to rise again. And as the runner begins to rise again, there is where they meet the chaser. But in this place, there's no longer a runner and a chaser. No, not in this place. In this place, there's connection. There's intimacy. There's understanding. In this place, there's truth. The game is done. The game is over. And now all can come back together. And now the voice of fear that comes in the back of your mind no longer works as it done before. Now the voice of manipulation and the tactics used to get you to be who I want you to be no longer works. Now there's only one valuable option. There's only one thing we can do up here in this high that will keep us there. And that one thing is love. I can only love you. I can only love you. I cannot tell you the things you need to know. I cannot show you the things that you need to see. I cannot tell you what to think nor how to feel. I cannot show you or tell you how to be. I cannot tell you to run, nor can I tell you to chase. I cannot tell you to stay, nor can I tell you to go. I cannot tell you how to be, nor who to be. But what I can do is love you regardlessly. What I can do is choose to stay on top of this cloud and love you no matter where you are. I can do that. And I can add in my love the day you decide to join me up here. And I can add in my love a reality where you finally do get what that thing you is, or that thing you may be feeling you need. And what I can do is add into my love the reality where you find it and you're joyous and you're loving and we're up here together. I can hope and pray and love that day and love you for it. But what I can't do and what I won't do is anything else. Because that's not love. So what begins to happen when the chaser begins to hold this reality for the runner? When the chaser begins to say, you know what? I can love you and that's all I can do. I can hold in my heart the day that you join me here. I can hold in my heart the reality of you finding all that you are seeking for. I can hold in my heart all the love that you deserve. And I can hold all this love up here on top of this cloud. You see, what begins to happen? Transform the runner and chaser game. You see, when you understand what really begins to happen, you understand what really takes place within the game. You see, what begins to happen between the runner and chaser game is the game no longer becomes a competition. You see, it's no longer a game where the runner competes for the chaser energy, and that the chaser loses his energy to the runner and have to find a way to gain it back. But the game transforms as the chaser begins to connect to the infinite amount of energy that the universe holds, that amount of energy that is based in love. You see, the energy of fear will have you to believe that something can run out. Oh, wait, what if we fall from up here? Can we just come down a little bit? You see, fear paints an ending in a world that never ends. You see, fear will have you to believe that you can run out of something that you need. And to prepare yourself from running out, you run away. But when you anchor yourself in love on top of cloud nine and you say, I cannot control who you will become, but what I can do is love you regardlessly. You begin to create enough energy within yourself that everybody can have some. You begin to become the fountain of love itself. You begin to become a pure reflection of God. And as you become this reflection, all those who are connected to your energy, who was depending on you to come down from on top of that cloud, they will begin to feel something else in their life. They will no longer miss the energy that they were depending on, but they will begin to find it in themselves more naturally. They will begin to wake up and start to feel that connection to love by themselves. Maybe even without the dark night of the soul. And they will begin to feel this not because they got you to come down from on top of that cloud. They got the chaser to finally come down and join them in their running game. But they will begin to feel this because something somewhere is holding the energy for them. You ever seen those long rope-like ladders that people cross over in the movies? That they take one step over the mountain at a time, and it's a big fall underneath them, and the ladder is always shaky. You ever seen somebody try to run across that ladder, and as soon as they get almost to the end, it breaks and they have to jump? And then heroically, somebody always grab their hands. You can do that with energy. You see, when that ladder snaps and they do fall, you can hold the space for them. You can be that being in their life that's holding that hand without having to come down from your own cloud. Just by loving them regardlessly. Just by opening your heart and say, I cannot tell you who to be, but I can hold the love for the reality of us one day being together on cloud 9. I cannot tell you whether to stay, whether to go, whether to move, whether to stay, whether to fly, whether to jump. I cannot control who you are. But what I can do is to hold this love. And when the chaser begins to do this, not only does all the runners in their life feel inspired naturally, but the journey back up to cloud 9 happens instantaneously. You see, the true key to this game, the true art of ascendance, is no longer being the chaser nor the runner, but being able to find the connection to love and then shower that love onto every runner that you have ever met. To show each runner that there's no reason to run. To show each runner that love still exists, even though you may feel afraid. To show the runner that it is possible to live in a reality where the possibility of what you don't want to happen could happen, but still being able to choose love in spite of it all. That's ascendance. And when you can demonstrate this, when you can show this, every fear, every thought, every emotion that kept a runner away would disappear. They will disappear because in the reality of you existing, in the concept of you, in the eyes, in the face, in the thought of you, they see everything that they need within themselves. If he can do it. If I see it over there, then it must be real, says the runner. It cannot be that hard if it has already been done, says the runner. Maybe I can do it too. Maybe I can be on cloud 9. Maybe I can love. Maybe I won't fall. Maybe I am enough. Maybe I am enough. Maybe I am beautiful. Maybe I am worthy. Maybe I am good. Maybe I am abundant. Yeah. Maybe I am talented. Yeah. Maybe I am honest. Yeah. Maybe I can ride that wave up there. Yeah. Maybe I can do everything I said I want to do. Hey, Chaser, how did I get up here? When did I get up here on cloud nine? Hey, it feels good to be up here. High five. And in that moment, the runner will ascend. The runner will become all that they knew they were before they started to run. But this time, when fear comes back around, this time when fear begins to speak, the runner won't listen. And the runner won't listen because the runner will look at the chaser. And in the eyes of the chaser will be a reflection of love. A reflection of truth that is known in such a way that there's no mere words, thoughts, or emotions that can trick the runner into runner again. You see, in the eyes of the chaser, the runner will see themselves, who they really are, before they ever decided to run. And as the chaser glanced over at the runner, and fear may come and say, oh, you know they're about to run again. The chaser will not listen. The chaser won't listen because the chaser already said, I'm never coming back down. But most importantly, the chaser won't listen because when the chaser look at the runner and seeing how the runner has climbed up to cloud nine all by himself or herself, what he will see in her eyes is a reflection of love. What the chaser will see when you glance over is themselves. And from that day forward, only thing the chaser will see within the runner is love. And only thing the runner will see from the chaser is love. And because two beings is once again eye to eye, accepting each other as they are, intimacy is born. But this time, it's eternal. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe. I'm telling you, this dance that happens between the runner and the chaser, you can call it the masculine and the feminine, you can call it what you want. It's a game. Like it's a legit thing that happens within the energy. Like it's funny, but at the same time it's like you know. It not only happens between people, I just like to describe it between people, but it also happens within your manifestations. You know, the things you go after in life and how the universe respond to it. Instead of it being you and another person, it can easily be you and the universe, you and God. You know what I'm saying? So when you can understand that game and how it's played, then you have the key to truly liberating yourself from it entirely. So once again, be sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.